Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Tamara Tamu Collective, where dreams have no filter. So, this video is part two of Creativity is Your Superpower. So, creativity allows us to connect with our body again. So, what do I mean by that? We spend too many of our days, too much of our time constantly in our heads, constantly thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And you may be saying, well, is that a bad thing? No, it is not a bad thing. But we have to remember that we have to find a balance with thinking and then not forgetting about our intuition. Because our intuition, that's where our soul essence can be birthed through. When we are when we are creative, when we are in creative mode, whatever that looks like to you, we are in the moment. We're just letting whatever comes out of us, we're just letting it flow. We're not trying to grasp on for any type of control. We are not thinking about what we're going to do or what we need to do or what we should be doing 2 hours from that moment, when in fact we are in the moment. So I want you to think about a time. And for those of you, when I use this example, I am making the assumption that water or standing next to water is comfortable for you, or you find it peaceful. So if not, use another example. Just the whole point in me using this example is to think about a time when you were not necessarily doing anything or not necessarily, working, but think about a time when you were just peaceful in your body, where you were just peaceful being, breathing, inhaling, exhaling. So for those of you that do find water peaceful, I want you to think about a time when you were standing next to any type of body of water and there were no waves. There were maybe slight ripples in the water. And you stood there staring at the water and you started to connect with what you were looking at in a way that was beyond. It was beyond your thoughts. It was beyond what you had to do later on or what you were doing before, because time was not even a factor. Without even thinking, you noticed your own breath. You started to breathe deeper. And there was just a calming, peaceful element that you just completely embodied. It just completely took over your body. That is what creativity does for us. That is what creativity can do for us. So it brings us into a space of being in the moment, being ourselves in the moment, connecting with our bodies, connecting with our feet, feeling our feet again, feeling our legs again, our arms, our heart, our breath. That's beyond thinking, which is why I double back to intuition. One of the things, well, first of all, one of the reasons why, especially us as adults, we get away from creativity is because we tell ourselves we don't have time. We get rushed. We find ourselves trying to control everything because of our thoughts, because of our thinking. Also, as we move into adulthood, as we have moved into adulthood, we're taught, and a lot of us don't even realize this, but a lot of us are taught, well, most of us are taught, if you've gone through the traditional education system, you're taught to go to an authority first. Ask an authority for everything. And then we carry that programming into our adulthood, which strips us from our intuition, disconnects us from our body, and then we go straight to our minds on all these thoughts telling us, well, before you take an action, before you do anything, you need to ask, you need to look for an expert, you need to look for an authority first. So then what happens is we find ourselves engaging in these mind-numbing activities that makes our brain hurt. And you know what I'm about to say? One of those activities is scrolling. Scrolling and constantly looking for the next strategy to make $1 million in 5 minutes. And I'm bringing that up. Listen, I love money. So I don't have a problem with the $1 million. I want you to focus on the act of scrolling, the act of constantly searching for someone to tell you what to do, the constant act of searching for the next strategy rather than the next strategy from an expert rather than saying, you know what? Let me get creative. Let me connect with my essence again. Let me connect with my body again. Get into the moment. Because when I connect to my creativity, I can then connect with my authority, which is my intuition. Also, I mentioned the time factor. When you are creative, time is not even a factor anymore. So, which is why when you're feeling a pull, that tug from your intuition, that's why this is how you know it's intuition, because intuition will give you a nudge. But then there won't be a, hey, if you do this, then this is going to happen. Or if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. That is not intuition. That's actually fear, because intuition is a nudge, is an inspired action, not dictated by the outcome, which is attached to time. So This is why, one of the reasons why we have to get back to being creative. Again, creativity looks different for different people. But we have to find that connection again with ourselves, with our intuition, with our power. Because don't forget this, I will probably say this over and over again throughout this series. When you are creative, you are connecting with your superpower to create your world, to create your economy. I don't care what the outside world looks like. You can create. Sorry, I was getting a message. You can create your world. So once again, connect with your creativity. Find some time, create the time. Step away from the mundane to-dos for the day. Gift yourself 30 minutes to do something creative. Connect with yourself again. All right. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. And stay tuned for part 3. Cheers.